Hey, welcome to Keys with a House Lady. This is Estrella Carter, your Minnesota realtor and home stager. And today we're going to talk about a hot topic that's been on the news all week. But before we get into that, I have one thing to say. No matter where you are, Minnesota, another state, or across the world, I can connect you with a trusted real estate professional through my national and international referral network. Learn more at estrellacarter.com or call me at 651-338-4207. So let's get into today's conversation. It's been all over the news about the proposed property tax increases for 2026. The Truth-in-Taxation notices you've been receiving or hearing about. And today I want to discuss what these numbers actually mean for you as a Minnesota homeowner. Now listen, before the anxiety kicks in, because I received a few phone calls from some folks talking about, oh my gosh, I can't believe it, it's this much. And then I've had to, and I'm not saying all homeowners are not knowledgeable about this, but I felt like it was my due diligence to, after getting a couple of those phone calls, I felt like I had to do this podcast so we can discuss this and what the action steps would be. So, first off, that notice called TNT, the Truth-in-Taxation notice, it's not a bill. These are preliminary numbers, and I'm going to walk you through them clearly, simply, and in a way that helps you feel empowered and not overwhelmed and stressed. Okay? So, what your notice actually is, when you open that envelope or email and see your 2026 proposed taxes, it's not your final tax bill, it's not set in stone, and it's not the amount you will automatically pay in 2026. The purpose of this notice is to inform you on three things. Number one, your estimated market value. Number two, your taxable market value. And number three, how much of your taxes come from the city, county, school districts, and special taxing districts. So this is your chance as a homeowner to understand what's being proposed and to speak up before anything is finalized. And I just want to do my due diligence because time is of the essence. I know in Hastings, the Truth-in-Taxation meeting will happen on December 1st. So I wanted to hurry up and get this podcast out to you so you don't miss your opportunity to give your feedback and opinion at these meetings. All right? So why taxes are increasing? Why taxes are increasing? There are a few reasons Minnesota homeowners are seeing these higher numbers. Number one, higher estimated market values, which I'm very familiar with as a realtor. The past couple of years and now, Minnesota homes have appreciated, but strong sales in 2022 and 2023 pushed values up. All right. Number two, rising local levies. So cities, counties, and school districts propose levies to fund roads, schools, public safety, parks and rec, and other essential services. And then number three, special taxing districts. This includes places like libraries, water management, transit, and housing authorities. Now, I live in the city of Hastings. We had increases due to water management in our local library. And recently, last week, I've been seeing on the news a need for funding for affordable housing. So that's where housing authority comes into place on those special taxing districts. All right, so there were two terms I mentioned earlier: estimated market value, taxable market value. So I want to talk about how estimated market value versus taxable market value. Your estimated market value of your property is what the assessor believes your home was worth on January 2nd of the previous year. Okay? So again, your estimated market value is what the assessor believes your home was worth on January 2nd of the previous year. Your taxes are based on your taxable market value. And I'm going to be talking about this. So your taxable market value will be lower once exclusions are applied. And this exclusion is a Minnesota benefit given to homeowners who live in their property as a primary residence. And that's called the homestead exclusion. I don't know if you remember when you're at closing on your house, the closer would ask you, is this going to be your primary residence? Because you have 30 days to homestead it. And you would say yes. But if it's not your primary resident, let's say you were purchasing an investment property, you're going to say no, because I don't want you to get in trouble for fraud. You know, there's investigators out there. So some folks try to get away with it because they want to get that homestead exclusion benefit. So while I was watching the news, different news stations, I don't remember which one it was, but one gave a perfect illustration example for homeowners to understand how they come up with the taxable value. So they gave an example of an increase. So say 2025, there was not an increase, but then for 2026, there was like a $33,050 increase on the value of the home. So the home was $125,000. The county assessor estimated the value for $150,000. Your homestead exclusion will minus that $33,050 increase to get your taxable value. So that taxable value would be $116,950. So even though the estimated market value went up, the homeowner didn't get taxed on the full amount. They were taxed on the lower taxable value. So again, that's called the homestead exclusion, and you're only eligible for that if that property is your primary residence. Okay, now next, let's talk about levies. Why preliminary levies may come down, which is good news. So right now it's kind of scary because most of the time the TNT has the levies are higher, but once they're certified, meaning the final percentage comes out, it's lower. And I also received an example for the past 3 years of how that happens. So for 2025, let's say someone received their TNT notice and it said 6.1%. Again, that's not set in stone. But then the final certified amount was 5.6%. So again, 2025, the TNT said 6.1%, but the final certified amount was 5.6%. In 2024, the TNT notice said 7.3%, but then the final certified percentage was 6.4%. In 2023, the TNT had 6.1%, but then the final certified percentage was 5.4%. So historically, those levies are most of the time lowered. Okay. So most importantly, I want to give you some action steps of what you can do before the end of the year, which will be soon, like now and in December. You can attend Truth-in-Taxation meetings. At those meetings, budgets are explained, levies are discussed, and you are allowed to voice your opinion and give your feedback on these matters. Number 2, you want to watch for final levy decisions, and that happens in December. All right, and then number 3, where I, as a realtor, come into place is you can compare your estimated market value to real sales in your neighborhood. So if you feel like your taxes seem too high or even too low, I can run a comparative market analysis so you know if an appeal makes sense. All right. So now, as a realtor, I've been having conversations with my clients, with buyers and sellers, and we've been discussing how the 2026 market will affect them. And property taxes influence affordability. So for the buyers, they're just like, well, I really have to keep an eye on my monthly payment. And this might shift which city or county I choose. And then for sellers, they have to really work diligently on, marketing their home. Now, when I come in, I have my idea. I tell them, I'm like, you want to make sure that your house is in good condition. You want to make sure you declutter it and that you clean it and that you do maintenance. So, sellers are going to have to step up their game when it comes to those things, because buyers are going to be really looking at monthly payment. They're going to be looking at condition. They're going to be looking at pricing, and the staging will matter even more. And I'm a certified home stager. I've seen the success of staging, which helps with home selling faster and with my sellers getting top dollar. So that's how this property tax increase can kind of affect the market for buyers and sellers. Now, if you have any questions about your Truth-in-Taxation notice, the best resource is your county assessor's office. Again, the best resource is your county assessor's office, and they're very helpful. They can explain your estimated market value, your taxable market value, your homestead status, and any exclusions that apply. And then for questions about your levy increases, you can contact your city, county, or school district to come walk you through what's being proposed for that. But again, I would look into, most cities, towns, whatever, they have their Truth-in-Taxation meetings. But I hope this was helpful. Again, I was wanting to really try to get this out before the end of the week, so you have time to, work on these action steps. Feel free to give me a call if you have any questions. My number is 651-338-4207. And thank you for listening. And again, I'm Estrella Carter, aka the House Lady, your Minnesota Realtor and Home Stager, and I'm here to help you live your best life.